Here we are. So,
slide over, ladies.
Oh yeah, slide over. I'm Dr. Oh, sorry.
Whoa!
Oh, who's that?
Dr. Plaggett.
Hey, I thought it was Dr. Matt.
No, it's Dr.
The other Dr. Matt.
No, look at the hair.
Oh yeah, it's more.
Got it? Okay. So,
I mean, he's tall. Yeah. Oh, never mind.
anyway, so, hey, I'm Dr. Kocha. I'm joined to be here by
Dr. Mike.
and
Amanda? Angela?
a nice sticker.
Yeah.
That's a cool sticker.
Super cool.
Dr. Frank Core's not here. He's still with patients. And Dr. Plaggett is here in spirit.
Yes.
He is off with a good friend of ours today with Dave Major. He officially now knows who he's with. So good luck, Plags. So I'm sure we'll hear from Dave later on today. So we're going to talk about, we're kind of a combination thing. We kind of had a, we're going to combine two things.
Yep.
We're going to talk about adaptability and about kidney failure.
Yep. And
we'll kind of tie them in with each other. So, obviously, as you know, you live your life through your nervous system. Every human experience you have is through your nervous system. If the experience is less than optimal, get your nervous system checked. I mean, that's chiropractic in a nutshell.
Just makes sense.
It just makes sense.
Just makes sense.
We should tag that. Hashtag just makes sense. And we could have a monthly program. And what should we charge for our monthly program?
$97?
She is. That's my preceptor. Yep.
We'll just. We won't say the great things about my preceptor.
Little conversation from this morning. So. But anyway, so here's kind of what happens is throughout your life, you're bombarded, and please interject. It's a little philosophical conversation here. Throughout your life, you're bombarded by invasive forces, universal forces. What that means is the negative bad stuff that bombards you. Some of it may be good. Working out is good, but over time it can impact your body, cause it to break down. Foods are good, but sometimes bad, right? Mental stressors. Sometimes you need that extra stress to push you forward. Like Hans Selye talked about stress, which is a cool read back on the bookshelf if you haven't read it yet. But when the body can no longer further adapt, we call those deconstructive forces. It creates what we call a negative survival value. When that happens, the body can no longer further adapt to its environment, and it creates something from a chiropractic point of view. We call that subluxation, which is the physical manifestation of the body's inability to adapt. What we do as chiropractors is we work on the spine, we work on the nerve system to help the body adapt to those negative invasive forces. When that inability to adapt occurs, things happen, right? Which you're going to get into. To give you kind of an analogy that I literally thought of this morning as I was driving in and it was cold, we drive on our roads all the time, right? Eventually, the road's going to break down. It's going to get what we call a pothole. That's the body's inability to adapt. You can do a couple different things. You can leave it. Hole gets worse. Pretty soon it causes more damage to the automobiles. You can patch the hole, which Dr. Price is going to talk about some things right here. Or we can correct it and make the road stronger so that when the invasive forces bombard it, the road doesn't break down. That's chiropractic. That's my infomercial. And I did it literally 5 minutes. Normally I do it in 6. So
impressive.
You go. Oh wait, no, we'll let these ladies go because,
we'll let them talk.
And then you'll do your little deal.
Sure.
So, talked about adaptability. Who wants to go first? I want my preceptor to go first.
Sean says adaptability is her favorite subject.
It is right now, if you guys only knew. Sorry, honey. Oh boy. Yeah, she wasn't perfectly adapting about 5 minutes ago, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So she was having an extreme inability to adapt because of mental. Yes. So, but it's kind of funny. It's not funny, honey.
Autosuggestive forces.
Oh, it was major autosuggestive forces. Some autosuggestive eyes have to go no. So anyway, carry on.
Well, I can think of an example. I've been adjusting my entire life, so I'm always adapting well. But like in college, my roommate would get strep all the time. And everyone's like, oh, I don't want to use your stuff, you have germs, where I don't believe in the germ theory. So I never got strep being around her all the time in like a 5x5 room, constantly. So I think that just goes to show if your nervous system is functioning correctly, you adapt.
Who was it that said if the germ theories were real, we'd all be dead? Remember, you ever heard that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's so true. Some really wise person once said that. But I also remember one day, it was kind of interesting. Dr. Sean Walker and I were in the airport, and we were actually headed. He was still a preceptor. Hi, Sean. Dr. Walker, sorry. And we were sitting in the Omaha airport, and I remember this. We were headed to Dallas. I was going to speak at an event there. And Sean knows this now, but you guys don't know this. We didn't allow Sean to be at home when he lived with me by himself. Many numerous reasons why. It was a funny story when he would leave, he wouldn't set the security, but when he was at home by himself, he would set the security. Explain that one to me. But my wife and Blake were away at a horse show, and so I had to go to Dallas to speak at an event, and so I took Sean with me. And we're sitting in the airport, and we're having this conversation about adaptive germ theory. And Sean says, if a chiropractor, it's a how do you say that? A contradiction. Chiropractors don't believe in germ theory, which we don't. But if you believe that stressors cause subluxation, you have to believe in the germ theory. And I thought that was really pretty ingenious as a student intern. Yep. It's the body's inability to adapt to the stressors. So, would your intern preceptor?
Yes.
We've got division in the office now.
Well.
Look at that look she gave me. That was like laser beam.
She's thinking of a quote right now.
Yes.
No, I'm not thinking of a
she's
quote.
thinking how she's gonna hit me.
I think it's important to allow the body to get an adjustment, allow the body to fix what's going on, and let's not cover up what's going on. I think that's important.
That's a good segue into this because here's what people will do when they have struggle with adaptability. Instead of addressing what we need to do to correct it, which is have a healthy nervous system, they fall into other things.
Yep.
And it was interesting because I'll go into it a little bit where you're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a conversation with a gentleman, and we were talking about his spine, and he said, I get it, I need to come in here. He goes, but it's X amount of dollars per visit. And he says, it's a lot cheaper to just go get a pain pill or to go get a drug. I said, is it really cheaper? And he goes, what do you mean? And I was like, well, it's going to be, our fee, if this is what our fee is. And he says, yeah, and that's $40. And he goes, I can just go buy a bottle of Tylenol or whatever, and it's, what is it? I don't even know.
I think it's like,
Yeah.
it's like $8.
Yeah.
Ain't that funny? We don't have a clue. It's like, that's 2 lattes!
It is.
Oh my lord!
Too small.
Well, true.
Or one large.
One large one, and then the bagel sausage. Yeah, that's what I had this morning. That's like $8. Actually, it's real close to $8.
Yeah.
So it is. It's like, so a bottle of Tylenol. I said, so do you really think that's cheaper? And he goes, yeah, I think it's a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper to do that. And I said, but what are the side effects of that Tylenol or Advil? And he goes, I don't know. Well, it's interesting. 45 people a day, I read, die that they know of from Tylenol and Advil. I said, so you really think that you're cheaper spending $40 or on that bottle of Advil or Tylenol? He goes, I really do. And I said, do you know what it does to your liver and kidney? He's like, no. I was like, there's a side effect to that. So with that, oh, sorry, I bumped Dr. Claggett. Let's get Dr. Claggett's input, just a second.
No.
Anyway,
So what I did was I did a little
his
research.
feet stayed on the ground though.
Hey,
Well, not
hey.
they did fall.
I did a little research just on kidney disease and costs of kidney disease, costs of the care, cost of dialysis, cost of the medications after the transplant, basically the anti-drugs to keep the...
Dr. Franco's joining us.
Well,
You
hello.
could just sit here by Dr. Claggett.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
hello,
Dr.
Dr.
Claggett.
Claggett.
I thought it was you, but it had more hair.
Ow.
We had to
Stand
put
up,
one of those
sit
in
up,
there.
sit up. There you go.
We had to put one of those in there. Everybody knows that. So, here's some statistics, or here's some numbers for you.
As we
So,
zoom in now.
This top one here is the average cost of a kidney transplant. These were numbers I got off that one website that you love.
Oh, write this down. www.
Google.
No,
Oh.
you screwed it up. Dr. Price's intern, can you do it for us? www.
GOOGLE.
Come on, I have to tell you, this is where that story comes
We've
from.
been working on that.
Yeah. It's like, we got
What
something to
are
work
the
on,
numbers,
let's do
what
it.
are the numbers for?
What's that?
So-
Oh, sorry.
These numbers, this top one here is the cost, here, let me raise this up for you, is the cost of a kidney transplant, the average cost of a kidney transplant, $415,000.
But that's just a surgical procedure.
Just the surgical procedure
Okay.
and the cost of the kidney itself.
Which number is it?
Which I
Which
find
number?
funny because people donate their organs,
415.
yet it costs you to buy one
Right,
for a
exactly.
transplant. Anyways,
Wow.
Show me
Never
the
thought about
money.
this next one here, 30,000 is the average cost of dialysis for a whole year. So
That's just but not counting the time it's gonna take you to
exactly.
drive there.
That's just the
And
cost of
transportation, because
for the
insurance
dialysis.
does pay
Yeah.
for that too.
Yep. The 15,000. That's the cost of the I don't know what the term they use,
Rejection
but
drugs, right?
anti-rejection drugs.
Look at her know this stuff.
That's good.
Wow.
I used to work at a nursing home. So.
Okay.
There we go. So we're looking at $45,000 a year for between just those two. One-time cost of this.
So
And now-
$40,000 a year for the rest of your life.
Well,
Right?
and what they said
Yeah.
was the average person on the kidney transplant wait list waits for 3.5 years, so they're on dialysis for that long at least.
And hoping, and sadly hoping that the transplant takes.
Exactly.
Let alone, so you're looking at, we'll just do the math here, a lot of money.
Mhm.
We'll just say that one.
Versus all of a sudden that $8 jug of Tylenol just quantified.
Mhm.
I mean, that, just to do the math here, that is a lot of chiropractic care.
And
A
this,
lot.
they said, the
That's a
average
lot.
transplant basically lasts, or that kidney typically is good for roughly about 10 years. So if this is somebody that's younger, and they may end up having to have multiple transplants, that's a lot of money.
Wow.
So are you trying to say that you're smarter by working on the body's ability to adapt versus, because also think about it, what about the adaptability response we have this now? We've put something forward into the body, we're doing a dialysis. You can tell me it's not gonna tax the body.
Well, you have to use those anti-rejection
Rejection. Yeah.
drugs, because the body will try to reject that
Wow.
foreign body.
And that's
So
also
what's this
something that's
bottom
the
number?
rest
So
of your
this
life.
bottom number, I took an 80-year lifespan. So I just used 80 years just to throw a number out there. So if someone was adjusted from birth to the time they were 80, let's say they pass away when they're 80, and this was just an every other week. I pulled this randomly. Some people may need a lot less, some people may need more. But just every other week for 80 years, $83,200. That's
So
the
that's
cost.
2 times a month, right?
Two times a month for a lifetime of care in our office.
Okay. Versus
Versus
the
this.
415,000
one time.
one-time
One-time.
fee, but your risk of having it
Mhm.
10 years is far
That's if
greater.
it works.
Yeah.
Oh, if it works. So,
Exactly.
but some will look at that number and go, 83,000, that's a lot of money. So let me ask you this question, and we'll let you, oh, sorry, Dr. Claggett.
Dr. Clyde's in the way.
Keep his feet on the ground. So my question with that is the adverse events, the side effects of a chiropractic adjustment. Because there's somebody out there that's going to know that.
Mhm.
What are the side effects?
Great. Should we ask our preceptors the side effects?
Can I ask yours?
Sure.
Angela, what are some of the side effects of a chiropractic adjustment?
Feeling good?
Weird. That's a weird side effect. Can I ask mine?
What is a side
Yeah,
effect?
it's their name.
Well,
Amazing.
if you get under chiropractic care right away, you might be more tired and more hungry because your body begins to heal, and as it heals, it takes more energy. But then
So
your
a
energy,
side effect is healing.
yes, healing.
Dun, dun,
Weird. Dun, dun,
So we've got
dun.
feel better, healing. Dr. Francoeur, do you have any?
I would say that the digestion.
Yeah! Where are you going with this?
It helps your body's absorption and digestion of food. Your body can actually.
Digestion's going to improve, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
What can we ask, little fella here?
Dr. Clark.
Here's another side effect of chiropractic care. Improved immune system performance.
Crazy.
Right? That's weird.
Yeah.
Which we got some stuff coming up on that, and we actually got some technology that's going to really be able to measure that.
Yep.
With the 2 HRV units we use here, we're going to be able to measure the body's ability to respond to the external stressors.
Absolutely.
Well, how about, can I throw one in there?
Sure.
Mood, happier.
Yeah.
You know, people who get adjusted all of a sudden they're happier. What about you? Throw one more in there.
Well, energy, feeling good, but energy levels is huge.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, what about the last one?
The S?
Yeah.
What's the S, Dr. Frank?
Ooh, I know.
Oh wait, no, let mine. I'm gonna let Amanda. That's my
Better
interest.
sleep.
Look at the look she gives.
I can't believe you guys practiced.
We did practice. I just did. We're like mind drifting right now.
Brainwave.
So,
You ought to see your looks. You so have like cut me in two.
so quick for you guys too is that, I know I came in late, but this is just for kidneys.
Yep.
This is for sort of the entire nervous system health.
Yep.
This controls everything.
And the bottom
So-
number is a lifetime. The top could be
Exactly.
potentially 1 year.
1 year, maybe one time,
Yeah.
if everything works properly. So that investment is obviously a no-brainer.
There's some other numbers that were just nuts.
So what about what it does to your stomach, your liver? I remember, and I know we're a little over here, but I'm going to do it anyhow. I remember when I was at my very first clinic, and there was a great defensive back that played for the Seattle Seahawks. His name was Kenny Eastley, and he was great. Remember Kenny Eastley?
Yep.
He was taking 26 or more NSAIDs, which is non-steroidal anti-inflammatory dope. Is that what the D stands for?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Do.
And because the team physician says you need to. So this is back, what, in the early 90s? When I read this article, he played late 80s, early 90s.
Yep.
And he was now on dialysis every single day. I think it was every day, 6 days a week. It was too much. And he did it just because he wanted to play football, and he was told it's okay. And it's interesting because I've been posting, I don't know if you've noticed on our clinic page, a lot of articles about opium, the opioid problem, the anti-inflammatory. And the articles that I'm finding are astounding of, they know that they cause it. And
Yep.
some of the articles are actually endorsed by the big pharma. Yeah, we know we have a problem, so we need to advertise better. No, how about not give the dope? That's a
We know we have a
You know-
problem, but let's overprescribe it anyway.
yeah, well, that's all about the money. So anyway, any closing? Oh, go ahead.
If you guys haven't been in yet today, the food drive is the rest of today, December 5th, and tomorrow, December 6th. So please come in, bring 10 or more cans.
And those are watching tomorrow on the recording,
Exactly.
come in today.
Today.
Which
Yes.
is tomorrow, today, but today that you're watching it today. You
Got
got
it.
that?
December 6th.
You get that?
We'll make it
I
simple.
mean, she whipped out yes right away, so I...
Leave her alone.
It's pick on Angela morning, isn't
It
it?
always is.
Yes, it is. So, anything for Dr. Claggett for closing? He's hanging out with Dave Major right now.
Hey.
He's with Dave for about an hour. I think we know what's happening now.
Think he's moving out yet?
Hopefully he's back next week.
Hopefully he's back tomorrow. Here's and I'll let them shut down. We'll just go in the order. Get your spine and nervous system checked. There is a solution. I guarantee you that health does not come in a bottle or a capsule. Health comes from within.
Yep.
So you
If you have any other questions, topics you want us to talk to you
Post
guys
them.
about, post them down below. Like us on our Facebook page so you can follow these if you're just seeing this video somehow. Our YouTube and also on Instagram. Find our Instagram page, I guess they're called, and like us, friend us, whatever you do on there. Heart us. I don't know.
we really
Heart
know.
us.
I don't know what they are
Heart
there.
us.
There's that little heart button. So yeah, but just connect with us so that we can get more information to you. And again, ask us questions and give us some topics that you guys want to hear about. So
Come in and get adjusted.
Angela.
I think I'm done.
All right, everybody, we're out. We'll see you next week. And you got.